Success is, um, well, this is the success formula that I have kind of crafted is pretty simple. It's learn, learn all you can. That's easy. It's out there. It's free. Um, Network your butt off, add value to others, and take action. And if you do those four things, 1% daily, if you do those four things, you'll be successful. All you have to do is put in 1% daily.
Because you're taking action, right?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Eric Upchurch. How you doing, man?
Hey, I like that.
Good.
Virtual
Good to
fist
see
bump.
you. Yeah, virtual fist bump. Yeah. Until one day I have a physical studio. Aiming for that. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. That's big time. You do that.
Would be great. Yeah. So, real estate investor, businessman. What
Trying.
else?
Yeah. I'm a dad. I'm a husband.
That's big.
Yeah, we actually just got back from a 9-day trip. We went to 8 states in the Midwest this time, but the goal is, which we're going to achieve, is going to all 50 states by the time I turn 50, which is
Yeah.
coming up in 5 years. So we're going to all 50 states. I think we have 17 states left. And yeah, it's pretty cool. We flew into Bismarck, North Dakota, and drove all the way down to Tulsa.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I heard that story. You told me.
Yeah.
17 to go. That's not far. It's pretty good.
It's about 2,000 miles of driving we still have to do, give or take. So it'll be good. But we're just doing it every summer. We'll do a long road trip every summer until the kids are out of high school. So
Oh, that's nice. Um, what gave you that idea, and what's the idea? What you do when you get there?
we've always been a family that likes to be on the go. We homeschooled our kids up until middle school, and so COVID really didn't affect us. I worked at home. My wife was a stay-at-home mom, and our kids were homeschooled, so we were never home. That's the funny part. They call it homeschool, but we were in Hawaii for a month and just Tahoe and just Yellowstone. We just went all over, everywhere we could go. And we've always kind of been like that. Living in California, you kind of do. There's so many places you can go on mini vacations all the time, every weekend or every week or whatever you want. There's, all year long, you can go somewhere cool in California or in the Western states. So we've always kind of been geared towards that. Just go explore, find something new, and then discover something along the way. Sometimes it's well planned out, and sometimes it's just on a whim. We see a road sign and go left or something. So it's kind of.
So you've been 33 states so far. Like my count is right, 33.
Just went
What stand?
to 8.
What stood out the most for you in these 33 states, or what you enjoyed the most? When I ask you, okay, about this trip, what comes to mind? What you like the most?
Yeah, a couple things stand out. One, I was happily surprised, or just surprised, that my kids were really excited about upgrading from a sedan to a minivan. We're not minivan people typically, but they loved the entire trip in the back of a minivan. They put string lights up, and really made it. They decorated it and made it their little home back there. So it's that was just fun and funny for us all, and they're teenagers, so to see them kind of engage in that was really neat. But then also I was very surprised with um, what's it called? Rapid City, South Dakota. I thought it was a cool little downtown, and this is like a place you probably never heard of, right? It's just outside of Mount Rushmore, and it's where we happen to stay. But
Okay.
I didn't really have much. I'd never even heard of it before that, I don't think. And then, but just a kind of a cool vibe and nice little town. And then um, more recently, going through Arkansas, we were in Bentonville, just northern tip of Arkansas. It's like the mountain biking mecca area. I had no clue. And there's so much money up there, and you can clearly see, and you're just like in Podunk, Arkansas, middle of nowhere. You're like, what is this place? And you go there and you're like, everything is nice and the trails are well manicured. And I was super surprised by that. So if you're listening and you like mountain biking, head to Bentonville, Arkansas. It sounds like a what, but you should definitely do it.
Maybe it's a mecca of mountain biking.
Yeah,
Wow, I'm,
and
I'm gonna look it up.
funny enough, my younger son is getting into mountain biking, and he had heard all about Bentonville, and I told him like, we're gonna go through this little town called Bentonville. He's like, wait, is it Bentonville, Arkansas? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I've been wanting to go there for so long. It's on my bucket list, and it's a mountain biking this and that. So it just happened to like fit in, and we had no clue that it was like going to be something really fun for him. So it was cool. And we rented a couple mountain bikes and rode around for 4 hours. So
Well, yeah. Um, uh, During the summer, I tried to not the summer, spring break. I tried to do a quick trip down. I'm in Washington State, so we tried to we did a quick trip down to California.
cool.
We considered doing by car, but I have a 15-year-old and a 3-year-old. The
Okay.
15-year-old just by car all this time with my little sister. So
Yeah.
and eventually financially we wanted to do it because of all the landscape and everything, but eventually financially was not fitting, and
Yeah.
we did by plane and stuff, but I still want to do it. But I'm just mentioning because your kids were excited, whereas we were having kind of a hard time here to, hey, let's do this trip, and ugly faces came up. So
Sure. Yep. Yeah. You never know what you're going to get.
yeah, we never know. Besides that, what have you been up to? How's 2025 treating you so far?
Pretty good. I'm actually starting to get back into acquisitions. I haven't bought anything in about I think 2.5 years, give or take. And we just, decided when things started getting a little bit crazy, we held our assets and sold a few and just kind of watching what was going to happen. And now we're in a spot where we're buying a 72 unit. By the time this airs, I'm sure we'll have closed already. So, um, but yeah, so starting to buy in the Indianapolis market outside of Indy, and yeah, looking forward to that. We're going to gear up to buy as many as we can in the next 5 years and just hold them long term.
Nice, that's nice. And how are you feeling? How long did you have to wait until you decided to buy again? And how are you feeling? Anxious until the opportunity came?
It's a couple
How
years. I
how
mean,
how's that for you?
I have a lot of other things going on. Also, we have a company called Active Duty Passive Income that teaches military members how to invest in real estate. So, focusing a lot on that, and we have an annual conference that's took a lot of my time up, and so I have plenty of things to focus on outside of real estate. Also, building businesses and things, and so it's fine waiting, I guess, is my answer, but looking back, I'm like, probably the right move. And had to also, there's a lot of lessons in there in the last 5 years. There's a lot of, not a lot, but several assets that I just needed to get out of, and I did, and didn't lose any money. And, but it was a lot of kind of, restless nights type of feelings where you're just like, oh, it's a little bit too thin, and interest rates are killing, bridge debt, and just stresses kind of. And also along with that, I'm sure you can relate, but uh, with those stresses come learning lessons. And I've learned so much about myself as an investor, as a person, as a partner in the last 5 years. And now I know to like I know how to rein that in and really maximize its efficiency without overstretching. And so kind of thankful for, got through pretty relatively unscathed and feel good about the future because now I can really niche down and hone in on one area, one asset class, one type, um, and get good at it. Just hold.
Yeah. What I've also been learning is that if you have, let's say, more than one activity besides real estate, it helps controlling that stress and anxiety because you're not just focused on one thing. Right now, I'm still checking deals, but but I've started to build a business on the sidelines, and I started the podcast here, the channel, which is something that I've been loving to communicate and learn with everyone. So that also allows me not to, okay, when the opportunity comes and you go and just stay on that lane, right? So I
Yep.
think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to have
That's
other
good.
things.
That's
It's
good.
not all
Good
about
to
real
hear that.
estate.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's just what? It's just a means, right? Means
Yep.
to something else.
Yeah, and I think
Great.
in between the means is and why people do it, or for me anyway, is the people. It's really, if you really dig into all of the meat of what this is, I mean, there's nothing hard about buying real estate. There's, it's a well-traveled path and millions of people have done it before us. And so there's nothing secretive about it. But what makes a difference and what I enjoy about it is the people you get to meet along the way, the challenges and the connections, and just some of the stuff of life. Like the fabric of life is about challenge and overcoming obstacles and learning. And so you get to do that with some great people.
Yeah. What I like is the aspect of when you get into a property and you can improve it.
Right.
So that means the quality of the property, the quality of life, and that's what I like about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something a lot of people overlook is we think of it as a business transaction more than anything, but if you actually go into a property thinking of improving your tenants' lives, or I'll go a step further than that, one thing that I like to do is talk to the mayor of the town. I'll go and speak with the economic developer of the town and ask them, with them in mind, what can we do? Say, hey, we're buying this asset over on 123 Main Street. What are you looking for that would help this community that we can do? And so you start with a give on the community level. It's not just the asset that wins, but the community can win also. But part of that is like it's always reciprocal. So if you're telling the mayor like, hey, we have this thing and I want to participate in your community. I'm not just some investor from out of state. Tell us what you need. Do you need housing for teachers? Do you need housing for police officers? Do you need low income housing? Like, what do you need in this community? Then it's more synergistic. You can really, instead of working against the grain, they're going to know who you are. They're going to know why you're there. They're going to know that you're malleable to whatever their interests are in the town or community. And so it's a good way to get off on the right foot, but also see what's going to be the path of least resistance. And sometimes, and we've experienced this in the past, um, we had an economic developer actually at one of the meetings. We were at the town hall, the city hall, and the mayor was sitting there, and this guy, and he started after the meeting. He started sending us deals. He started saying like, "Hey, here's this rundown apartment complex that we would love to have renovated in the city. Is this something you're interested in?" And so you never know where it's going to lead, ultimately.
Yeah, it's the community power. And I bet, like you're just saying, my segue question would be I bet it's well received. The mayor is well receiving you, and based on what you're saying, everyone else.
Yeah, and to somebody listening, they're probably like, "Well, how would you ever get a hold of a mayor?" I'm not talking about the mayor of Dallas. Like one real estate investor probably, but the mayor of a town of 10,000 or 20,000 people. Yeah, you can still get a hold of them. And the way you do it, I mean, the way I do it anyway, I cold call or cold email and try and get it, figure out who the gatekeeper is, because you're never going to just call the mayor directly, right? But call like the office and see who the gatekeeper is, or the receptionist for the mayor, or whoever the assistant to the mayor, and say, hey, I'm coming to town on Tuesday at 4 p.m. I'd like to meet with the mayor, if he or she is available, to discuss real estate development and in your town, and I also have a gift for him or her. And so all you do is bring something that you produce. Like, we have a best-selling book, so I'll bring a copy of that. We have a military challenge coin, specific to our company, so I'll bring them that. So like, come with something, and anybody can publish a book on Amazon and bring a paperback copy of it and just say, this is just a little bit about like who I am and why we do this for communities, and what our interests are, or whatever. Or literally go and a hat, with your logo on it. It doesn't matter what it is. Just something like, hey, we thought of you, brought a couple hats, a couple t-shirts for you, and we just wanted to say thanks for your time today. You know. And so if you do that, at least the gatekeeper is gonna you're gonna catch their interest enough to like go to the next step of, maybe, okay, like, let me look at my calendar to see if there's an opening somewhere, you know, versus just some other phone call. But yeah, so tell them you got a gift for them. People like gifts.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, nice idea, man. Nice idea. Thank you. Yeah. And I know that you are a veteran, correct?
Yep.
Which branch did you serve?
I I was in Army Special Operations for 6 years.
Wow. Well, I'm ignorant about the subject. I come from Brazil, and we're not big in terms of that. So, what I'm trying to understand is, well, usually the path that I know is you do college, then you go to a company, or
Yeah,
you do college and you start your own venture, your
sure.
business. And I'm imagining in terms of the skills are really specific, and from that you you had a journey, um, on a different path. How how did you find that
Yeah.
path to what you do today?
Yeah, it's a good question, and really, first I want to say I did go on a, not that this has to do with Brazil, but Chile. I was on a mission down in South America.
Close enough.
Yeah, and
Amazing.
and we
Yeah,
hopped over. We
I
actually
like
did hop
Chile.
over to Argentina real quick too, up to I think it was Ski
Oh, great
Portola,
steak.
some
Tell me
little,
about it.
yeah.
Oof.
Um, and so my path was really not too unique. And here's how to answer your question is how it correlates to the military, because you think of military as like, well, we're war fighting and nation defending, and that's the primary thing. But there's some key benefits, I'll say, that you earn in the military that do correlate to real estate. The VA loan is one. Veterans Affairs is the VA, and so a
Okay.
veteran who serves a certain amount of time, or a military member who serves a certain amount of time, and qualifies for the VA loan, um, they can put zero down on a one, two, three, or four unit asset. So single family house, duplex, tri, or four family, four unit, quad, whatever you want to call it. So imagine buying a fourplex with $0 out of pocket, other than closing costs, right? That's a huge advantage. Now, if I had known that when I was in Savannah, Georgia. And so, if the realtor that was helping me buy my single family house with my wife, if she had told me, hey, you can buy a fourplex and rent out the other three units and live in one, I probably would have done a little more research and then jumped on it. And
Boom.
and you can, yeah, and but no one was teaching that, and realtors weren't really, like, 99% of realtors out there weren't savvy. Like, they were just thinking, okay, go buy that new construction house and the new development, go. They weren't educating on investing long term. They're educating on, or just showing people houses, right? So you do occasionally have a realtor who's just great at it, and they know all the nuances and stuff like that, which we at our company tend to agree with now and tend to work with. But um, so so I ended up buying a single family house, and my wife and I lived in it for 4 years, I think. When I got out of the military, I moved back to California, but still had that house as a rental. We converted it to a rental and wasn't making really much cash flow because I didn't buy it as a rental. I bought it as a retail single family property, brand new construction, zero down, and so didn't cash flow. Um, but I thought, well, there's probably a better way to do this. So I got another VA loan. You can have simultaneous VA loans um, up to a certain limit at the time. So I bought another house in California, and I started live-in flipping. So we would buy a house, renovate it or not, but this is good market timing too. It was 2012 to 2017, and market in California was going crazy. Property values kept on going up. So renovating or not, I was building equity, and so I 3 times we bought and sold a house within 2 years or so each time, and each time we made money. And each time I was still listening to podcasts and figuring out what else I can do next. So we had built up a little bit of a nest egg and decided to invest as a limited partner in a syndication. A buddy I went to college with had been syndicating apartments, and I started asking him a little bit, like, how come I see you on a jet and I just got out of the military, like, what's going on here? And he's like, let me just tell you. So he started talking to me about it a little bit, and we ended up investing in our first syndication as a limited partner, just passive. But that's kind of started. And then I found Rod Cleef, and the rest is history. Just really, it was like looking at it, going, dude, anybody can do this. Like, why don't first of all, why don't my kids know about this? But also, like, why aren't they teaching this in high school? They should be teaching this from the beginning, like real estate in general, not necessarily like real estate syndication, but real estate, because it's almost like a hack. Like, um, here's an
Yeah.
example. This is how it feels like. It feels like you're cheating somehow in life. But let me give you an example for anyone listening. I bought 2 turnkey properties. Once I had a little bit of a nest egg, right? It was 25. It was in Kansas City, so it was $25,000 down each house, right? So just the down payment, it was like 100,000. Let's just call it $100,000 house, okay? So it's just small rentals. Each one of them cash flowed $200 a month. I got a 4.5% interest rate. There's tenants in place. It was renovated. Literally did nothing but put the deposit down. I held those for 3 years. Rates went down to 2.75. I refinanced. My cash flow went up because my debt service went down on the refinance. So my cash flow was now $300 a month on both properties, on each. And I pulled $52,000 out in the cash out refi tax free. So I made $50,000
Yeah.
and my cash flow went up just because I refinanced into a lower rate. Like, that seems like it should be illegal, but like, it's not. you know and so I used that money to pay cash for my truck, which I had been driving a 15-year-old truck at that point, and I just bought a new truck, paid cash for it. And so I guess the lesson there is, like, you can do the same thing with apartment complexes. One of my buddies just did a refinance on a 56 unit deal and pulled out almost $1 million tax free in a refi. And he only owned it for
Yeah.
4 years, I think. So imagine holding one asset or five long term, and all you're doing is refinancing the equity. You don't have to worry about over leveraging. So sometimes people think, when they think refinancing, they think like you're over leveraging and you're like, it's getting risky. Every time you refi, it's getting risky. No, I'm talking, you have an 80% loan to value or a 70% loan to value. The equity, the value of the property goes up over time, and
Yeah.
your equity goes up in that split, and then you can cash out and keep your loan to value the same, because the bank's going to require that anyway. But you can pull that
Yeah.
extra chunk of money out and it's tax free and it's beautiful. And you can do that over and over and over again over the years. That's why you see all these mom and pop apartment complex people, like they're 80 years old and they've owned something for 40 years. They're doing just fine. You know, they can keep that thing, they can keep that thing full, 100% occupied, keep their rental rates low because first of all, they don't have much debt on it anymore, if any. And second of all, every 10 years they just refinance it and pull $1 million out and they're chilling, you know? So it's pretty neat.
So besides the rent, they already got this chunk of money and they can do whatever, right?
Yep, that's right.
Wow.
They just
Wow.
need to make sure they're covering their debt and yeah, refinance over and over again over the decades.
Right. Yeah. And about your story, I see the correlation now. Okay. So there wasn't, would you say there wasn't a big transformation for you or a paradigm shift, or it was pretty smooth then?
Yeah, when I left the military, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Your
Yeah,
path for
yeah.
that.
My path towards real estate was pretty smooth, just because my head was on a swivel. That's what we say. I was constantly learning, constantly looking around. How can I improve my situation? Like that's a
Uh,
big deal in the military. But I took that, and maybe that's how my military training did help. Is how constantly thinking, how can I improve my situation? How can I improve my situation? How can I improve my
uh,
odds? How can I make things better for me and those around me? You know, and how can I surround myself by the right team? I mean, those are all military rooted things. And so when I got out, even though I was on my own, just with my family, I didn't have my team, my comrades, my unit and stuff. But I had the mentality of like, okay, well, I got to keep my head on a swivel. I got to figure out how to improve my situation. I can't just work a W-2 for the rest of my life, you know?
yeah.
Um, I mean, I can, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with holding a W-2. It's just you have opportunities um, to live the life that you want, not what someone else's. You know, the problem that I have is in my head anyway. I get stuck on every time I every time I get paid from a W-2, it's golden handcuffs a little bit, you know, and it's like it's which is fine still because you have bills to pay. Like the reality is you do what you got to do, right? But I get stuck in the mindset of I'm helping someone else's dreams come true. You know, like I'm not this isn't helping my dreams come true. This is just enough to make sure I can cover my bills and like go on a vacation. I have 2 weeks of paid vacation every year. Okay. Well, what about my dreams? Like I got to create it. It's not their job to create my wealth or my independence because I'm just this is very similar to the military. I'm expendable. As soon as I leave, I'm replaced. Same thing with any W-2. As soon as you leave, okay, well,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
some groaning and everyone's uncomfortable for a minute. And then 2 days later, the applications are coming in and someone else is getting hired for your job. Cool. Same with the military. So you got to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, definitely, definitely it is. And one thing you said there, how is a really important question, a powerful question we should be asking constantly. That's spot on. Yeah,
Yep. How can I improve my situation?
yeah.
And
And another thing you said there, yeah, go.
no, it's just we're built for growth, like humans. Think of us 10,000 years ago. We're not sitting down.
Yeah,
Like I have a stand up desk. I like we move. My family and I we move constantly. We're constantly busy. We got you like. Well, here's another example. When you see an old person retire, they die. When they stop doing things, their mind goes, well, I guess my mind's not needed anymore. They sit on the couch, well, I guess my body's not needed anymore. You start to die. So, 10,000 years ago, back to that analogy, you're up in the morning if you wanted to eat, and you're not going to eat. And this is where we can get into this too. We don't have to, but uh, you intermittent fast is like a big thing where like, okay, well, don't eat until like after 11 a.m. or, you want a good, say 18-hour buffer between meals, or it's because biologically that's what happened to us. Our gut
yeah,
is supposed to do that. Like, you might have gotten a meal at 2 p.m. if the woman in the family brought home some berries, or if you were able to get a kill that day. If you didn't, you didn't eat that day. So
Yeah.
but technology and processed foods and whatever else has just made it so we can go to the store and just grab whatever we want. But our bodies haven't changed that fast. Everything else around us has changed that fast. So I don't know. There's a lot of correlations to that in business and some other stuff. So kind of neat to think about.
Oh yeah, there is. And you mentioned about partnership in the military, which you learned. I had here a conversation with Kobe Bowers.
Yeah.
It's another fellow warrior of ours,
Yep.
and
Air
he
Force.
mentioned the same thing. He mentioned about leadership. Yeah, Air Force, exactly. He mentioned the same thing. We learn a lot about partnership. You learn a lot about leadership. Would you say the same thing?
Yeah. I mean, you got to figure out who you are on the team, because the worst team has a bunch of people who are the same. You've got to have, and this is perfect for, I mean, I'm so glad that I had the military experience before real estate, because you realize if you've got um, 5 people on a general partnership team who all hate asset management but love finding deals, you got a problem. You've got to have a good mix. You have to have someone who's outgoing and someone who's analytical on the team. Um, and that's the same in the military. You've got to have somebody who likes to shoot, you have to have somebody who likes to move, and you have to have somebody who likes to communicate. You got to have a good mix on any team.
So you really that was something that you learned there, and you, let's say, transposed to your businesses. Then that's
Yeah,
what you
and I
did
don't think
basically.
I did it necessarily intentionally. It's just part of it. It's like I wasn't thinking like, oh, I need to use my military background to figure out how to. It's just kind of naturally the military has some stuff that works well. I mean, obviously those are like some of the most important teams in the world, or else you're dead. So um, so if that's true, then it also has to be true for business, and specifically real estate. You can have, if those are effective teams, obviously there are lessons learned and that it can be applicable to real estate and other businesses. So yeah, it was pretty easy to take that information and just kind of throw it into real life, my new real life.
Right. What I'm capturing also that you're saying is that always looking, always developing yourself, and always be on the lookout has helped you a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of back to like growth, I think. So I'm somebody who likes to take a concept or idea and learn about it and then digest it into something that is more manageable for people. Like, I've always been a team leader, a manager, a coach. Even from when I was 12 years old, I was working in the cornfields in Iowa, and I ended up being a team leader because I liked to show people a more effective way to do the thing, to finish the job, or to do it more efficiently. And so that has always been a part of my, I guess, personality. So I want to learn something new. And when I learn something new, I want to take it and make it, because sometimes I'm like, well, that was way too complicated. Why don't they just tell it like this? And then I'll just put it into something like, example, Dave Ramsey, Total Money Makeover, one of his big books, right? I read the book and I just was like, okay, I took all of that information and I dissected it, and then I organized it into one page, one sheet that I can share with anyone and say, follow these steps, do these things, and you'll have accomplished the teachings of this book. Like, I love doing that. And so for that, I'm constantly finding new hobbies, new skills, new challenges, new opportunities, because I think we got to have that to be productive humans. Ultimately, and I talk like this sometimes, and it sounds grim, but like, we're all going to die, and we all kind of don't matter. That sounds bad, but like, no one's gonna in 100 years, no one's gonna remember me. That's okay. Like, in 100 years, no one's gonna remember Grant Cardone, and I'm nowhere near him. Like, and then And
Yeah.
then think of the most powerful leader, like the president of the US, or who, it doesn't even matter, Elon Musk. 100 years from now, they're going to be like, oh, what a great innovator. Anyway, what are you having for breakfast? Like it doesn't. So I guess all that to say is you have this innate like feeling that you want to matter, and like I want people to know me on social media, or I want my family to think of me this way, or I want to be whatever in the history books. I want to be a billionaire. Well, the reality of it is it doesn't matter. I think really and this is a tangent maybe, but like the only thing that actually matters is that you feel fulfilled in growth and you find joy. Like personally, you have to be a little bit selfish in thinking like, because at the end of the day, who the only thing that matters is who is around you when you're dying. Who's standing in your immediate circle when you're laying there having your last breath? You've never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse. No one's taken their money with them. So, what was the point of all the pain and suffering? What was the point of never doing anything in life? What was the point of trying to be a billionaire? That's all just like trying to be productive and feeling fulfilled. But at the end of the day, it's connection. It's human connection. And maybe instead of trying to solve the world's problems, solve your neighbor's problem. One of the things, and I'd say, speaking of superpowers, one of the things that I enjoy the most is solving problems through connection. I do that selfishly because it's how I'm driven. It's what motivates me. It's how I'm geared. I didn't choose that. It chose me. It's my personality. I want to know you, and I want to know Aaron, and I want to know Colby, and I want to know Rod, and I want to know Susie, and I want to know everyone. And then when they come to me with any problem, I want to go, hey, Fernando is your solution. You need to connect with him. I love that. And so that some people call that networking or something, but like really it's just like connection. I just want to know what people are going to tell me when we get on a call. What are they going to say about themselves that if I know about them, I can potentially down the road help them solve a problem by connecting them to someone with a solution. I love that. And so the just journey we call life, for me, it's like that's it. Like, let me do that. And if that's fulfilling enough for me, I don't need to be a billionaire. I don't need to be on a plaque in some memorial as I'm after I'm dead. I just want to feel fulfilled right now and find joy long term. That's it.
Awesome. Oh, that's so powerful. And it seems that you are happy and fulfilled because you keep building up on the things that fuels you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big part of it. But the real big challenge is letting go of the things that don't, because they are always there. They're always coming up. There's always a new challenge. There's always some new obstruction. There's always something that you're like, oh my gosh, I hate that part of life. Why is that part of why does anyone want to do that? What Those are always going to come up. So it's for that reason also you have to live in reality and know that that like it's a roller coaster. You're going to have all these highs where you're like, I just solved a problem and I just fixed someone's life and it was amazing, or I just closed a real estate deal and it was fantastic and it's going to change my life forever. And then there's these lows where you're just like, everyone hates me, everything's going wrong, nothing is right now, da 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 da. But I like to try and stay, and this sounds boring, but I like to stay in the middle. I don't let the negative stuff, I don't let it eat me up, because I know there's always another peak. I know that there's always going to be another high coming. And similar with highs, even as bad as it sounds, I know there's going to be another trough. And usually it's, a couple times a month, it's up and down. And everybody goes through those challenges and everyone has those wins. Even if some of the wins seem farther away than you'd like, eventually, if you find something you love to do, you can also have those little wins and stuff. So I'm constantly challenging myself mentally, physically. I do. You mentioned Jay Tiggs. Do hard things is his podcast and his kind of mantra.
Oh yeah.
And do hard things is I've been saying that for years. Like, what that drives me. I do these super long hikes, and I did a half Ironman with no training, and I just,
You're
I just,
crazy.
yeah, I just like to like go sign up, go do hard things, and along the way we raise a bunch of money. I've raised close to $600,000 from a bunch of investors for um, Veterans Community Project that builds tiny homes for homeless veterans, and we just went on a 260-mile hike, and it was 14 days hiking in the woods, and we raised a bunch of money, and we did a 180-mile hike, and raised on that one we raised almost $200,000, I think. And so, but they're hard, it's 52,000 feet of elevation gain, and you're carrying 38 pounds on your back, and you're sleeping on rocks, and so, but it's also beautiful for a lot of different reasons, not just visually, but the reason you're doing it and the camaraderie you have, because I do it with usually a couple people. But again, that's growth. Like you learn so much about yourself when you're in the shit, so to speak. Excuse my language, but when you're not in a great place, you learn so much more about what you're capable of than when everything is la-di-da. So go
Oh yeah,
sign up for a
yeah,
half
and perspective.
Ironman and hack your way through it. And I'll tell you a funny story. I was on the bus from the finish line to the starting line the morning of, like 4:30 in the morning of the Ironman. And I was sitting next to this lady, and she's all excited, and everyone on the bus is ramped up, and I'm there by myself. Like I didn't have a support crew. My wife and kids weren't there or anything. And it was down in Palm Springs, 7 hours south of me and of my home. And so I sit on this bus, just getting transported to the start line, and she goes, "Oh man, what's your specialty? Like, how many races have you done? What's your specialty?" And like what she meant was, do you swim, bike, or run? Like, which one do you like? Which one do you really like training for? And I looked at her and said, I've never even swam in a wetsuit in a lake before. I've never done a sprint triathlon. I've never done any triathlons ever. And my specialty is grit. That's all I said. I was like, that's true. And that came out so naturally. It was the first time I ever said that. But I was like, my specialty is going out and giving it hell and just figuring it out as I go. And it works when you have a strong mind. I mean, I'm telling you, when you're doing a 1.2 mile swim, took me over an hour, slow as molasses. I mean, I did every type of stroke known to humankind, like doggy paddle, everything. I'm not kidding you. And but I finished the thing, and then my transition time was 8 minutes trying to get my wetsuit off. Most people are like 30 seconds in and out, boom. I was sitting there just trying to get the thing off, couldn't even get my wetsuit off. Um, and then on the bike, I didn't have a bike that was sufficient, and I remember at mile 39 of 56, my legs were hurting so bad. They weren't quite cramping yet. I was trying to prevent cramps, but I was hurting so bad I had to sit up and pedal with no hands and literally use my arms to push my legs down. I was just using my triceps just to offset the pain, and then yeah, and then the thankfully I've run a whole bunch of half marathons and one marathon a long time ago, so I kind of knew what that pain was already. But uh, it was I had to grit it out, and I'm sure you've experienced similar things, and so a lot of listeners is like, you do something that's really physically demanding. That's when your body shines. Like that's when your mind is sharp. That's when you're like, this is what life is. Like you're gonna go through this in life, whether you like it or not, whether you sign up for a half Ironman or not. You're gonna go through something like this and discover something new about yourself. So that's why I do those things.
Man, I am trying to stay quiet because I've been a triathlete for 14 years now.
Oh, nice,
I did
nice.
two. I did two. Yeah, I did two full Ironmans and a bunch of half.
Yeah,
I'm glad you had grit. I'm glad you had. I'm glad you were fueled by grit
yep,
because can be done. Yes, definitely can be done, but you pay a high price for that.
Yeah. Do I recommend
Pay
it?
a high price. Your body
No.
was crushed.
Yeah, I was actually, funny enough, I was sore. I mean, I was like stiff afterwards, but the next couple of days I wasn't that bad. Maybe it's because I was so slow, but I wasn't that sore.
Okay, yeah, could be.
I
That
finished in
helps.
you'll laugh as a triathlete, but I finished in like 7 hours and 13 minutes or something like that. It was just like just everything I could to get that sucker done. But I didn't walk at all during the half marathon or anything. I didn't stop on the swim or I didn't stop on the bike or anything. So got through it, and
No,
also
nice.
swore that I would
And
never
one
do
thing I,
full.
oh, yeah,
I'm never gonna do a full Ironman because those people are crazy.
you think so?
Yeah,
Oh, I kind of believe. I agree. Um, I want to do others, but right now I'm focused on other stuff. But yeah, I kind of believe. I agree. I mean, the half is perfect, man.
yeah,
The half you
yeah,
can enjoy everything, and one thing I always tell to when I tell, yeah, I'm an Ironman, and people say, oh, you're crazy. Exactly that. I say, man, anyone can do it. Just don't compare yourself. You have to have a preparation, but anyone can do it. And I really wished that everybody could experience at least a half,
yeah.
because the feeling, and I know you know that now, the feeling when you finish that and you say, man, I did that, I can do anything. I really wish I could put I well, not put in a jar, because that would be really easy, put in a bottle, I mean, I really wish that people could do that.
Yeah,
The
it's an interesting
perspective,
thing, like,
which,
it's a big mindset thing, like, you can do it, and there were people there doing it in worse physical shape than me, it's not like I mean,
yeah,
I'm in good physical shape, and there are people there who just like, "I'm doing this," and they probably trained for it too, but they were still, 40 pounds overweight and they got through it though, you know? And then after that, they
yeah,
probably felt like
yeah,
they were on top of the world.
that's how you feel it. Yes, yeah. And that's related to one thing I was about to comment on. The other thing you were saying, when you think about good or bad, it's really about perspective. It's your perspective on how you perceive and see things. And I just honestly recently this year I learned about it, and it changed my a lot of things, and it's impacting positively on every aspect of my life. I wake up every day and say, amazing things will happen today. And just because of that, you see things differently. And every detail, things that happen, you see, whoa, you get wowed. So, perspective.
Yeah, I
And
do.
if you believe you can do anything, you will do anything like you
Yeah,
did. So, congrats on that, man.
I'm instilling that in my kids as much as possible. Also, a couple years ago, I had them write down 15 things, just affirmations. Just I am a great athlete. I am a stellar student. I am awesome at brushing my teeth. I am whatever. And I had them print it out and then tape it in front of their sinks so when they are brushing their teeth, they can read their affirmations. And then I sent a video to my oldest, and I was like, "Watch this. It's an Instagram video or something, but it's like some psychotherapist or somebody saying your your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and and what's fake. So if you tell it, because you have control over what you tell it, right? And if you say, I am uh, a finisher of the John Muir Trail, I am a finisher of the La Quinta Half Ironman, and then you sign up for it, you can achieve that thing. It's like, but most people don't understand that your body doesn't know the difference. You just have to take control of the mental part of it. And then your body goes, well, I guess we are. Oh, well, okay, I guess I'm going because here I am. My mind says that I'm this. And then you can just go and do it. It's crazy how it works that way.
It is. It is. Yeah. And it's magical. Well, all right. All right. I wanna try to make you a bit uncomfortable or not.
Good luck.
Just just push you your mind now. Um, I want you to imagine a scenario where I'm going to tell you, Eric, you'll have 1 year to accomplish everything you accomplished so far in your life. How would you do it?
The first thing I would do is I would change the timeline to 1 month. And then I would set very specific targets that have to be hit in order to achieve it. I mean, breaking it down outline style, but really, ultimately, the rest of it doesn't matter. The key is uh, Parkinson's rule. You set it at a year, it'll happen in a year. You set it at a month, it'll happen in a month. So you want to be assured it's going to happen in a year. You tell yourself it's a month. That's it. You don't have a year. You're dead in a year. You've got 1 month to accomplish these things, or else your family goes with you or some stiff penalty. It'll happen.
Wow. Nice. Nice. Great perspective. Again. Yeah. I've been hearing about, well, for quite a while. Well, you set up a high target. Probably you won't achieve it, but at least maybe you get half or a quarter of that. So that's what you have in mind when you say that.
Yeah, I mean the backtracking part. Like one way actually to put it back in money terms, the way Dave Ramsey kind of teaches it. And I'm not a huge Dave Ramsey fan. I'm just using. I mean, I'm great guy. Good starter point for a lot of people, right? Get out of debt. But my point is he breaks it down in an interesting way. He wants you to have, because he knows the psychology of humans, he wants you to have immediate easy wins. So I guess what I would do is put targets in there that I'm like, well, duh, I know I can do that. I mean, I already basically have that one done. Write a list. I mean, I still do it to this day. I write post-it notes um, just to be able to cross things off because yeah, I get a dopamine hit every time Eric Upchurch crosses off a to-do list item. Like I will literally finish a task that I didn't have on a post-it note. I'll write it on the post-it note and then cross it off.
Nice.
Sometimes, especially if it's like yard work or something, right? Um, but your body, you get these dopamine hits. So I would say give yourself small wins along the way, and then when you have a loss, you're like, yeah, but I've got all these wins ahead. Also, I can see them. So that's a good way to connect the dots to the goal is to make sure that there's a bunch of things that are like doable along the way.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And what success looks like to you?
Success is um, well, the success formula that I have kind of crafted is pretty simple. It's learn, learn all you can. That's easy. It's out there. It's free. Um, Network your butt off, add value to others, and take action. And if you do those four things, 1% daily, if you do those four things, you'll be successful. All you have to do is put
Guaranteed.
in 1% daily.
Because you're taking action, right?
Yeah. I mean, the rest of it, you can learn all you want, but if you don't do anything about it, it doesn't matter. So yeah, and then it's people. People matter. So you have to network, but you also some people will say, "Oh, learn, network, take action." But there's a missing component for me in there, which is add value because you can network with people, but if you're not figuring out what they need, remember it goes back to that solutions. Like I want to find solutions to people's problems. So figure out what that value add is to them. That makes the entire thing, it's the glue between the whole thing. If you're adding value to someone else's problem, if you're adding value to someone else's personality, if you're adding value to someone else's team, um, that is that is repeatable. That means someone else is going to value you back. And so learn, network, add value, take action. Yeah, you literally just do those things. And it doesn't take like some massive action. It doesn't take like, you don't have to like maybe massive action means one time bold a bold move. Like go up and talk to somebody you thought was completely out of reach. Like go network with a broker. Go, something that seems super uncomfortable and not reachable. Go do that. Maybe that's the massive action part of it. But ultimately it's like it's 1%. Like make a phone call today. Text a buddy that is in real estate or whatever business you're in. Text a friend and just say, or call a broker, or research one thing online today. Look up one deal on LoopNet and analyze it. Like it's not that you have to do all this stuff and in some kind of crazy timeline. We got time. So you take it at your own pace, 1% daily. Um, and by the end of the year, you're learning new languages, you're learning new people. I mean, not actual languages, but like languages of people, languages of real estate, languages of whatever thing you're interested in and need to know about. And it's just progress. It's just constant progress. So yeah, that's success is the pursuit, not the result.
Yeah, yeah. Enjoying the journey is something that I've been learning also, and I've been doing now, and it's changing the game for me. Yeah, and doing uncomfortable things, which is when we grow, right? Awesome, Eric. I have a billboard for you.
Okay.
What you want to put there? What you want to put there?
I want to put, hmm, that's a good question. I would say let's talk about how to end veteran homelessness. And I think just leave it at
Community.
that. Yeah, I think just leave it at that. Something that is important to me, but also that changes. That there's a solution for it. I know the solution, and I'd love to have the conversation with anyone who's driving by, looking at the billboard. And because you never know. I mean, that's like a billboard's a great networking tool, right? You never know who's going to actually make that phone call. So
Yeah.
call me. Call me to talk. That's what I would say. Call me to talk about ending veteran homelessness.
Great. And I'll put that. I'll put your billboard next to Kobe's billboard because he
Yeah.
says, "I'm your guy for trust me for your investment." So
Nice.
we both
Perfect.
working together would be awesome.
Yep. Absolutely. I guess I have to get into the gold mining business with Colby.
Oh yeah, do
Yeah.
that, man. I'm in contact with him. We
Yep.
have some talk.
Yep. I'm a big fan of the show Gold Rush, so it's interesting. It's good
Okay.
industry.
And what in terms of learning? You're big on learning, which is awesome. We should all do. Which books or any material would you recommend?
I think along the
Could be
same
podcast, could be anything.
yeah, I think along the same lines of grit as one of the books I love is Can't Hurt Me by Goggins, David Goggins. That really to me was I should reread it soon actually, but just just power of determination and grit. I love it. It's really mind over matter stuff. It sounds like so overplayed now, but it's like I think it's something that everyone should understand. Everyone just needs to know how powerful your mind is, whether it's healing a sickness or it's overcoming a physical achievement or whatever it is, obstacle, it all starts with how you think about the thing.
Mm, okay, I'll look it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's a good
heard,
book.
I hear a lot about David Goggins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's mostly crazy, but it's interesting to read and watch. Crazy in a good way.
Oh, oh yeah. Awesome, man. Any last messages or anything? Thoughts?
No, just thanks for letting me come on and talk. Appreciate it. And yeah, if anybody wants to talk to a military real estate investor, if you're a military guy or gal, past or present, go check out activedutypassiveincome.com. We've got a conference coming up in October in San Antonio. It's the largest real estate investing conference for military in the US, and glad to have you there.
Organized by you?
Yep.
Awesome. Good luck on that.
So actually, historically, it was organized by me. This is our fourth year doing it, and now we've got more professional people organizing it, so it's good. But yeah, yep.
No, great. Always doing
All
better,
right,
of course. Awesome, man. My pleasure. Thanks a lot for that.
absolutely.
Amazing as I expected to be.
Yep. Hope you get something out of it.
Oh yeah, I did. I hope everyone else could as well.
Awesome.
Thanks, man. Take
Thanks.
care.